Good evening, Scorpios. Welcome to my channel, Spirit Nine Incorporated. It is an absolute pleasure to be back with you this evening. I am recording on the evening of the 19th of February, 2022, and this forecast is for the half of January 2022, which I will quickly reflect back onto with respect to those planetary energies and how they're connecting with this beautiful, friendly full moon in Leo that we just had on the 16th of February, which happened to fall in Leo at 28 degrees. So before I delve into those energies of this most recent full moon, I do wish to reflect back to the January 17th full moon that happened in Cancer at 27 degrees Scorpio. And for you, Scorpio, that fell in your ninth house of, publishing, media, spiritual elevation. It also is the house of travel, foreign travel in particular, long distance travel. And with this particular transit that happened with that full moon in January, the conjunction of the Sun and Pluto, which is also your ruling planet, a traditional ruling planet, Scorpio, has been adding a lot of power and push for you to allow a change and or a move or moving into changes with the help of Uranus, which is the planet of sudden surprise, unexpected developments, life-changing shifts, which is what Uranus, the planet of the universe, will do in our life. They will be, life-altering shifts. And because change, you are a fixed sign, Scorpio. So change for you, generically speaking, does not come easy, unless, of course, you're in control of that change. You like to have everything laid out in front of you before you decide to make a change. And, Uranus, the planet of the universe, does not work that way. It will bring in change unexpectedly when we don't listen to our intuitive, insight in knowing when a change is necessary, and or at least allowing that change and accepting that change to unfold. Uranus will come in and do it for us. And when that happens, it can be very uncomfortable and very disturbing because, of course, we're not prepared. And for you, Scorpio, that's, particularly difficult because you are a fixed sign and you don't like change unless you're in control of it. So you're being, taught and or perhaps reminded would be a better word to use, that change happens when the divine knows best. And it's rarely our timing. Universal timing is rarely our timing. And so this has been a difficult transit to be accepting of, but ultimately it is for our highest and best good, and it is for our natural and authentic preparatory time for growth, to be able to receive the desirable changes that we do want. And if we delay in making those changes when we intuitively know better, Uranus comes in and does it for us, and then we are forced to make the change. So however that's resonating for you, Scorpions, will be certainly different, because you each are having different planetary transits within your own natal chart. And that's, of course, based on the details of your time, place, and date of birth. But the generic message here is the same. Now, Uranus is and has been and continues to transit in your seventh house. And your seventh house has to do with relationships, and relationships of all kinds: marital, intimate, personal, platonic, professional, and so forth. And with Mercury, the planet of communication, and Saturn, your additional ruler, also Scorpio, traditionally speaking, is falling in your fourth house. And the fourth house has to do with the home, your foundation, where you reside, your residence. Also, your most inner, deeper psychological foundations would be indicated in this particular transit as well, of the fourth house. And so it's asking for relationships, intimate or otherwise, to shift for a healthier balance. There needs to be some sort of a shift for you Scorpios that are, not only perhaps welcoming, but there's a need to welcome and to embrace that in order for there to be, a healthier balance. In particular, to allow enlightenment through the relationships of all kinds, to allow transformation within the environment, within the home environment, within your professional arena as well, and how the home and the foundation and your support system and how that connects with your career endeavors may be or have been perhaps hindered. There can be a recycling done here to find balance, and that has to start with your most inner self, your most inner foundation, and then how that will unfold in a healthy way in your outer arena with those that are, associated with you in a personal relationship and or professional arena. So that is a very, very important transit that has been happening for quite some time, particularly emphasized with that full moon that we had in Cancer on the 17th of January, which is what I'm currently speaking of at this time. Now, these energies and how they're manifesting themselves with the current full moon in Leo that we just had on February 16th at 28 degrees Scorpio for you that fell in your 10th house of career. So you see how it's all connecting. These two full moons, the one that we just had in Cancer in mid-January and the one that we just recently had February 16th in Leo. Now, this full moon was a friendly full moon and very supportive of your 10th house, which is your career, how you show up in the world, how you express your authentic self within a career endeavor to the world. And with Mars, your additional drive planet here falling in your third house of communications and short distance travel. Mars is also your ruling planet here along with Pluto. And Pluto is the traditional ruler, and Mars is your modern ruler, and Mars is the planet of action. It's also the planet of war when it's not upheld in a higher octave, elevated form of consciousness. So you want to be wary of that any actions you take are taken in a positive manner, not in a manner that is, creating unnecessary negative upheaval, but coming from a, driven force of peace and positivity is essential at this time. Because you do have this full moon in Leo that was a very friendly full moon working with you in this very important house. This is the 10th house. This is the house of your career. Perhaps a lot of you Scorpions will be changing your career at this time and or looking to delve into a change. You have a very positive trine to, embrace this change. And now is the time to do so. And again, bearing in mind that even though you're a fixed sign, you're being asked to welcome the change and where you need to magnify that change, you have the support of the full moon to do so. So this is, a very important transit. As difficult as it may be, on a day-to-day basis, certainly there will be days that are easier than others, but there is a need to compromise and to have that compromise within your foundational arena, which is the home, along with your relationships and how that is or is not supportive with respect to your career endeavors. Perhaps that's an interchange that needs to start first with the self and then communicated with others. That is another way that this energy can play out. So I did just want to delve into these planetary energies. I do hope that was clear. I know it sounded a little bit perhaps confusing, but that's at this time the only way that I know how to express how important it is to really align with and balance with your most inner self, and how the energies of these planets are supportive of that, but expressing that authenticity, not only in your personal arena of the foundational home, but expressing that to others in the world. Perhaps it will require, as I mentioned earlier, a change with a career endeavor, expanding on a career endeavor that you're currently involved in, and or delving into an arena that is completely different. So those are three different ways that this planetary activity can play out for you, Scorpios, with respect to your profession, and how you wish to have that embraced in your personal arena of the home, of the foundation where you reside, and or perhaps how it may require a change of residency. So that's definitely how these energies are, currently at play. They will continue to be at play for the next 6 weeks. So it's a very positive time to use these energies to your benefit, Scorpio, if you can find your way forward in doing so. And that starts with listening to the most inner self, first and foremost, and having that then therefore unfold with divine counsel and divine governing in your foundational arena. Again, it could mean a move for some of you. It could mean an expansion within the home for some of you. It could also mean a complete change of career for some of you as well. There's a few different ways that these energies could play out, and for all of you, they will be different because, again, you're all different Scorpios born at different times, dates, and places, and years for that matter. But the generic message is the same. Now I'm going to commence the balance of this forecast for the last half of January, February 2022 energies, with an emphasis on this February 16th full moon that we just had in Leo at 28 degrees Scorpio. For February 2022, let's just take a look at some of the recent, past, current, and forthcoming energies that you've been navigating through, Scorpios. I do hope that all of you are doing well, being your authentic self, staying highly elevated in consciousness to help move forward that which you're desiring in your personal and in your professional arenas. And that is the key. The key message is to allow the transformation to unfold as the divine prepares you for the new beginnings of that which you desire. Maintaining high elevated consciousness through meditation, yoga, or other forms of alternative healing that are healthy to not only create but maintain balance, so that you have the clarity to be able to really hear, to really be able to listen how you're being guided forward, because that will be totally and universally supported. So this being said, Scorpio, let's take a look at your energies. I am commencing with the Animal Spirit Oracle deck. We'll take a look at your recent, current, and forthcoming energies. We'll get some clarification through the Rider-Waite Tarot on some details with some hopeful, helpful navigated tools there to move forward with. And then we'll close out the forecast with one card from the Enchanted Map Oracle. Thank you for joining me. It's an absolute pleasure to be here with you this evening. I apologize for the delays. I've had some computer issues for the last 4 days that have been a real headache, but hopefully they have been rectified, and that this forecast comes out clearly and as cleanly as possible. All right, Scorpio, for February 2022, let's take a look. First card out, Scorpio, in your most recent past energies, we have the Badger Spirit in the upright, being fearless and being bold. Look at you. Numerical number of number 4, Scorpio. Here you are in your most recent past, moving forward, or so this energy is indicative of. And you're moving forward fearlessly and with bold energies, and that's that Mars that I mentioned. That's your driving force. That's your driving planet at this time. just, if I may suggest, bear in mind to move forward fearlessly and boldly, as well as peacefully and positively. Try not to be distracted by the naysayers and or negative energies that can certainly filter into our energy field on any given day or any moment in time. This does have to do with the home and your most inner psychological deepest foundation, as is indicated by the number 4 on this oracle card. So there's a very strong energy here for you Scorpios. I think for a lot of you, certainly I hope that this is resonating for a lot of you, because it is very positive and it is very forward movement. A nice way to start this portion of your forecast. In your current energies, we have the frog spirit, the numerical number of 28, needing to clear out the clutter, as the energy of this oracle card did come up in the reverse, and it is suggesting to stay focused on completion. The 28 reduces to a 10, and 10 is indicative numerical spiritual number of completion. The frog spirit is suggesting to continue to clear out the clutter, perhaps the clutter of the mind, as I'm picking this up very instinctively, intuitively. I can certainly relate to that because I experience that quite often throughout my days on a daily basis. And it's really, really important to keep the clutter at bay, keeping the chatter at bay, staying focused on the divine, as the frog spirit in the upright would indicate that the divine is guiding you forward as you leap forward. For those of you that have had difficulty in doing so, it's suggesting, as this energy in the reverse, is to continue to clear out the clutter, continue to clear out the negative chatter of the mind. As the Christ said, be transformed by the renewal of the mind. And that is definitely what is suggested with this energy in the reverse, is to maintain your positivity, maintain your authentic, divine, guided self, to keep that clutter at bay, keeping that chatter of the mind at bay, especially the negative chatter. Moving forward into your forthcoming energy, Scorpio, we have the owl spirit of being able to see clearly, the numerical number of 7. Now, the owl spirit is a very spiritual energy. It did come up in the reverse, and it's just suggesting, all this is suggesting in the reverse is that some of you Scorpios have been having difficulty seeing your way clearly forward, as would be indicated by continuing to be reminded to clear out the clutter. Some of you haven't been able to see your way forward, or have been challenged in seeing your way forward in, a foundational and or career endeavor because of the clutter in the mind. Perhaps the clutter of whatever you've experienced from the past needs to be kept at bay so that you can clear the energies to be able to see clearly, turn these energies around to fly forward, as the owl spirit would do. In the reverse, it is suggesting that some of you are just delayed in doing that because you're still clearing out the clutter. That's clearly how I'm picking up these energies. They're very strong. They're very positive, and positive also in reminding you to stay focused. Very, very important to stay focused. You have positive, direct energies right now with all the planets moving forward as of February 4th. All of the planets are direct. We just had a very friendly full moon in Leo on the 16th of February, just a couple of days ago. So they're very positive energies to work with at this time, Scorpio, to create that which you desire. And the way to do that is to keep the negative chatter, the negative self-chatter at bay. Keep clearing out the clutter. Keep focused on that which you wish to create, to allow you to be able to see clearly on how you are to move forward in the areas of career, in the areas of how that will positively reflect with your foundational arena, which has to do with the home, and also, positive communication with the relationships with respect to the home that are in the home and or within a career field. Positive communication with associates and or new people that you wish to connect with. Very, very positive time to do so. I'm feeling very strongly and intuitively that now is the time. Put out new applications. Perhaps the energies were heavy in January, so not a lot was moving. Energies were very slow moving in January with a lot of planets retrograde, but they're all moving forward as of the 4th. The planet of communication and the digital world, which is Mercury, will be out of its post shadow by the end of February. So really March is going to be a very powerful time to move forward, and certainly you can delve into those energies at present by being governed by your higher self, to stay clear in mind and in spirit, to be able to listen. Key word, listen, to be able to govern you forward in the arenas of which you desire to have, some healthy unfoldment. I'm sorry, I just bumped into my computer. So this being said, Scorpio, let's take a look at some details. Clarifying the badger spirit of your most recent past, where you're feeling, moving forward fearlessly and boldly. If I may reiterate, keep it positive, because this has to do with the home, feeling very strongly and how that connects with your career. First card out, beautiful, Ace of Swords, Sword of Truth. I believe this came up in one of your other forecasts, maybe November or December. I don't recall, but I do recall speaking on the Sword of Truth and how that Sword of Truth not only is reflective of your own dialogue within yourself, Scorpio, but how you express that to others. Speak your truth. You're being totally supported by the divine, and this goes for all Scorpios. You're being totally supported to move forward. You have the regal heart of the divine, and you have the love of the divine, as indicated by this heart and the beautiful blossoms of the rose and the lilies. And a whole new foundation can be created within the home as well as within a career endeavor. Very positive energies, for a lot of you Scorpios, where you have perhaps felt challenges. It could be because of different placements within the chart. Again, all of you Scorpios are different, but the generic message is the same. Now is the time to move forward with that which you wish to create. And the way to start that is by keeping, the negative clutter at bay. Continue to clear it out so that you can leap forward with your truth, creating a whole new beginning, which will allow you to see clearly, which some of you are still being challenged in doing so at this time. But you do have the positive support of the truth of the divine right here in your recent past energies, which are also currently playing out in your current and forthcoming energies. This is the energy to stay focused on, Scorpio. Clarifying the Ace of Swords. We have the Five of Swords in the reverse. Beautiful. I actually see this as very positive. A lot of you Scorpios that are staying focused on the truth of the divine and allowing the divine to guide you forward, you're laying down the battle. You're laying down the battle from within yourself of the past that has kept you stuck, that has kept you hindered. All of these swords are indicative of anxieties within the mind. Swords are indicative of, air. Air is mental chatter. Here we go, clearing out the clutter. A lot of you are still doing that, but most of you, I feel, have already moved through these energies of dropping the battle, leaving the battle in the past of whatever you were battling that didn't serve you anyway. Nothing good came of it. Just stripped you of your energies and stay focused on the divine guidance of the truth. To continue to clear away the clutter in your current energies, and in so doing, you have the King of Pentacles in reverse. The King of Pentacles in reverse is indicative of an energy that a lot of you Scorpios, perhaps, or some of you, however this is resonating for each of you will be different, if it's resonating at all, have severely been affected financially, as would be indicated by this large pentacle right here. This is an enormous amount of resource, of money. Perhaps some of you went through a career change and are still in the throes of going through a career change. Some of you are delayed in hearing back from someone that can offer you a career change. I would suggest, if that is the case, if that's resonating for some of you, to reach out to that individual again, because these energies could be still from, the January planetary retrogrades that were happening that are still trickling through at this time, because full moon energies can last up to 6 weeks. So that full moon in Cancer on the 17th of January, is still playing out as we connect with the full moon in Leo that we just had. So I would suggest, if this is an energy that you're waiting to hear from or needing to reach out to, that you do so, because for some reason there's a delay in hearing back, and it is affecting your ability to create a stream of income. So I would highly suggest, with the energies moving forward, is to stay focused on that which you're desiring to create with the Sword of Truth. And if it requires you reaching out to an energy to perhaps assist you with that, an outside energy outside of your spiritual realm, being guided by the spiritual consciousness, I would reach out to this energy, reapply. If it's an employment scenario, renegotiate if you're in a current employment scenario. And or this could also be indicating of a complete career change, because where you have been has not served you financially. That's another way this energy could play out. Clarifying the King of Pentacles, we have the Four of Pentacles, and this energy is in the upright, and it is suggesting that for the resources that you currently do have, you're hanging on quite tightly to them because of this lack of financial support here in your most recent past that has filtered into your current energies, where it's really requiring you to clear out the past. Let go of this past energy that has depleted you financially. Stay focused on what you have and how to create that and inflate this. And don't be afraid of, sharing your blessings. This traditionally was indicated in the old tarot as the miser card, hanging on very tightly to what you have for fear of losing it. Don't be afraid, Scorpio, because that which you fear, you create. Don't put energy into what you fear. Put energy into what you desire, what you wish to create. As you're being conscientious of what you have, and then allow these pentacles to blossom into that huge pentacle that you once thought you had, or perhaps discovered was otherwise, you can recreate and recycle and rebuild. That's how I'm feeling this very intuitively. I do hope that that message was clear. Moving into your forthcoming energies of the owl spirit, so that, a lot of you have been having difficulty seeing your way forward, as is indicated with this energy in the reverse. You haven't been able to see a clear way forward. It's been challenging, but that typically comes with confusion and frustration. And so the important message in that is, I say, to stay focused on how the divine is guiding you. Stay focused on the truth. The truth comes from the divine. And when we can stay clear and open to the messages from the divine, we will have the clarity that we need. We can turn the unclarity into clarity to be able to fly forward as the owl does, because the owl is the spirit of the divine, as you can see. So right now, some of you are just feeling, a lack of clarity. That will change as you stay focused on the truth of who you are, the truth of authentically who you wish to be. By clearing out the clutter, leaving the past and behind that depleted you financially, not being afraid of sharing what you have, knowing that your clarity is coming because you're focusing on the truth of spiritual counsel, higher elevated consciousness. Very, very important to stay focused on, Scorpio. I cannot emphasize that enough at this time. And then you can change that energy around to be able to see clearly and fly forward. Clarifying the owl spirit, we have, there you go, the Knight of Swords, a positive message from perhaps an air sign, as swords are indicative of the element of air, and the air signs are Aquarius, Libra, and Gemini. And we are in the age of Aquarius, Scorpio. So you have a very strong support system here of perhaps an Aquarian energy coming in with a message, a very powerful message at that. Communication perhaps with some of you and or for some of you with respect to the arena of which you wish to unfold. It could be, having to do with a career endeavor. It could have to do with a message regarding the home and or your residency. Forward movement which you wish to take on that, and how that would play out with perhaps a working environment, how that works within the home and or how that would work with your career. Perhaps some of you are creating a new career within the home, very much so how this energy could also be playing out. This could very well be you, Scorpio, using the elements of air, the elements of the mind, to create a new beginning for yourself within your current residency. By clearing out the clutter, knowing that you can create what you desire right where you are. That's another way this energy could be playing out. Very interesting. Clarifying the Knight of Swords. We have the King of Swords in the reverse. Now, the King of Swords, typically in the upright, would be indicative of a, authority or an authoritative figure, someone who, is very dominant within their field and or, within their career or even within the home. Within an environment that you're associated with. Now, it did come up in the reverse, which is indicative of, this can play out a couple of ways in that perhaps, that which you wish to create, not only has it been delayed and very challenging, it's been, due to the fact of a lack of clarity of how to create and bring forth to blossom in a new way. Even though you have, an innate support, there's a dominating factor here where you're feeling a lack of support. And this could be from someone you're associated with personally or professionally or both. But this is a very powerful king. And with the energy in reverse would be indicating to me intuitively that there is a lack of support. You're feeling some sort of a lack of support in being able to move forward. And it could be financially as well for some of you, which would not be uncommon because typically when changes need to be made, it does require money. But generically putting that aside for the moment, I'm feeling this a lot stronger as being someone or something that you may feel is hindering you in addition to a lack of financial support. It could be a dominant figure in your life, personally or professionally, however this is resonating for some of you Scorpios. And again, for each of you, it will be different. For those of you that are, resonating with this energy. I'm going to clarify that King of Swords. Empress, beautiful. There you are, Scorpio, in the upright, Roman numeral of 3, spiritual counsel. So whatever this dominating energy is where you're feeling a tremendous lack of support or interest from, while you are trying to receive positive messages through another and just not having a clear perspective of as how to move forward. A lot of you, I believe, are staying focused on the truth within, the truth of who you authentically are. You are the Empress. The Empress sits back as a major arcana, very powerful Empress, has all the tools with which to create the changes she wishes to create, and is sitting back purposefully so for some of you at this time, to be able to really understand the truth within your authentic self. Who are you, Scorpio? Who are you? As this beautiful Empress is asking also, as she sits back with her energy being governed by spiritual counsel to allow clarity to come in, to receive the positive messages that you're wishing to receive. You're needing to stay focused on the truth and perhaps unfolding that truth in a brand new way that is in alignment of who you are today. And I'm feeling this very strongly with respect to a career endeavor. You have all the tools with which to create this new career that the divine is trying to show you. But you need to keep the chatter, the clutter away and at bay. Not be fearful of the financial resources that you have, and to actually use them. Use what you have. When you receive the clarity that the Empress sits back and waits for, as you can see by the cross here in her heart, she wants the divine to show her. And she's a very successful entity. So when you ask for guidance, Scorpio, be genuinely authentic in accepting thy will, not your will. That is the key message. Thy will be done. And when you do so, this dominant negative energy that is trying to infiltrate your mind by saying you are not worthy will be very clear to you that you are worthy, because you are the Empress. The Empress sits back and rules her own empire by the truth of the divine, the sword of truth. And as a result, turns any unclarity into clarity with beautiful messages, divinely guided, as the Knight of Swords wishes to bring in through the spiritual counsel. Very deep reading. I hope that's understandable to you, Scorpios, who are resonating. I frankly was very guided intuitively, so I would not even be able to repeat it. But if you need to re-listen to this video, please do so, because it's a very powerful message that you are totally being guided by the divine when you sit back as the Empress that you are, ruling your own empire, allowing the divine to continue to guide you and move you forward in a new endeavor that will allow you the clarity of which you currently don't have. Very, very important message. Very important messages right here. Stay focused. Stay focused on the truth, Scorpio. I'm going to clarify this forecast with one card from the Enchanted Map Oracle deck, Scorpio, with an emphasis of this friendly full moon that we just had on the 16th of February in Leo at 28 degrees. For you, Scorpio, for February 2022, what is one final overall message from the Enchanted Map Oracle deck? If I may, I was just guided to pick this message up again. And the energy I just felt instinctively to share with you is that you need to speak your truth, Scorpio. Now's the time. You need to speak your truth. Very, very strong message here. Whatever that truth is for you, you need to speak it. Do so peacefully and positively. Continue to clear out the clutter so that you can sit back and allow the divine to bring to you that which you desire. And then you will have the clarity to move forward. Very strong message. Very, very powerful message. This is the key right here. The truth. And in speaking your truth, the importance of allowing others to speak theirs, whatever that means. And I'm feeling that very strongly within the foundation, within the home. There needs to be some healthy communication here, because you've been sitting back, and although you've been welcoming that communication, you are also being asked by the Sword of Truth to speak, and to do so forthcomingly, so that the clarity that you're seeking can unfold for forward movement as the Empress awaits. Very powerful message there. Very, very powerful. You need to speak your truth, and in so doing, allow others to speak theirs. Very powerful. Wow. Very powerful messages here. Because this dominant energy is a lack of communication. It's a lack of communication. You need to communicate, Scorpio. However this is resonating for each of you, it will be different. It will reflect personally, professionally, or both. But the key message is to communicate your truth and to allow others to do the same. That's the dominant overall message here. This is the sword of truth. This is the sword of the divine. Clarifying February 2022 forecast for Scorpio, with an emphasis on this full moon, very friendly full moon in Leo that we just had on the 16th of February at 28 degrees. Scorpio, Scorpio, Scorpio. Final overall message for Scorpio for February 2022. And the message, Scorpio, is the goblins, the number 5. This is what the card looks like in the upright. I do hope you can see it. It's a very muted card, so it might be difficult to see with with my current lighting and with the reflection of how my computer screen is angled. Maybe if I hold it up like that. It is the numerical number of 5. 5 is indicative of change. The goblins card did come up in the reverse. This is Pluto. This is Pluto. There are some energies here that need to be brought up. They're being very deeply hidden within for you Scorpios that are resonating with this. Again, suggesting that the truth needs to be spoken. To no longer hide behind the veil, Scorpio. You need to lift the veil, whether it's a veil that you've created yourself or that other energies have created. You need to lift the veil by speaking your truth, continuing to clear out the clutter that has hindered your progress with a stream of income and or resources. To not be fearful of the beautiful resources that you have, but to bless them so that they can flourish by continuing to clear out the negativity that has hindered your resources. And allow the divine guidance of spiritual counsel to provide you with the clarity that you need by speaking the truth, lifting the veil, to not hold secrets because they're going to come out anyway. Whatever that means for those of you that are resonating with this. This could be within the home, it could be in the professional arena, it could be both. But the truth needs to be spoken, because by it being unspoken, as indicated by the goblins in reverse energy card, the change that you are seeking, indicated by the number 5, which has to do with change, will not unfold. So the truth needs to be spoken from yourself, Scorpio, and, to allow the truth from others, their truth to be spoken, so that the clarity is realized. Then the veil lifts, and you can see the clarity even as you walk through the forest, because the divine light is shining right here in the forest. There it is right here, the truth, the divine truth, the divine light asking you to make changes by speaking the truth, lifting the veil as it is currently in reverse, which says that there is a veil. There are hidden issues here that need to be spoken. You need to speak up and allow others to do so, so that you can see the clarity that you wish to have, which at present, for some of you, has still remained unclear. And that's because there's a lack of communication. I'm going to leave it there, Scorpio. Thank you for joining me. Thank you to all of you Scorpios who like, share, and subscribe to my channel. Spirit and I genuinely appreciates. For further information on my channel, you can certainly review the Show More section underneath the video. There is a detailed description of my channel. And I do thank all of you for joining me. I thank you for your patience. I have had some computer issues. Hopefully they have been rectified and will remain rectified. I will be back for a March forecast forthcoming very soon now, as we delve into the new moon of Pisces forthcoming in March, which will have a whole set of other energies to navigate through. But at present, Scorpio, which I suspect will play out into March and April, because we do have some long positive transits happening for the next 2 months where all the planets are moving forward directly. Speak your truth, allow others to speak theirs. As a result, the veil will be lifted so that you can see the forest for the trees. The clarity will come as to how to navigate forward in making the changes indicated by the number 5 that you wish to make. Beautiful energies, but they require communication. No longer hiding behind the veil. Allow the communication to flow, Scorpio. And then you will be able to have a clearer way of how to navigate forward. So let the truth of the divine guide you in speaking your truth and in allowing others to do so as well, in the arenas of the foundation, which could be your home, your most deepest psychological inner foundation, as well as with your career arena. Communication is key, and truthful communication at that. Thank you again, Scorpio, for joining me. I will see you soon. God bless you extra, extra special. Until I see you again, take extra special care, Scorpio. Spirit and I Incorporated signing off for now. Good night.